Hi, my friends. I am very happy to be with you today. We are actually in Medjugorje in my garden, and I want to invite you to travel, a big travel to Jerusalem today, together. Why Jerusalem? I want to be there when Jesus was risen from the dead. The tomb is empty, and I want to meet the women there, Mary of Magdala, the women, and then the apostle who came. Why? Because I'd like to meet Jesus, the risen Christ there. And remember what Jesus said, the first word he said when he met his friends, his disciples, the woman, when he was risen from the dead. He said, "Peace be with you." Now, I have a question. Do you want that peace? I know everybody raise their hand. Yes, I want that peace, I want that peace. Of course we want peace, but there's a problem with peace. The problem is that when we think about peace, we think, well, fine, there's no war, no conflict, there is no frustration, there is no problem, so we have to eat, we have a roof, we have a job, we have a car, we have health, and the children are okay, we are at peace. No, that's not peace, my friends. That's tranquility. That's a human, earthly tranquility, and you can understand that this tranquility, for some reason, can be broken any time. A war can come, a death can come, a sickness, you lose your car, you lose your money, you lose your job, and so it's not solid peace, just tranquility, and it won't last. So what has Jesus given when he said, "Peace be with you"? Of course, he gave his own divine peace. Shalom. When you see the word shalom in Hebrew, you understand that there is nothing to do with tranquility. Shalom, the idea of shalom is that you are complete, you are full, there's a fullness. There is no hole, there is no emptiness in your heart. And this fullness, of course, is when your heart is totally full with the presence of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. When you have God in your heart, you have peace. So the problem is that we are confused with peace. We look for human peace, the way the Lord gives it, and it's not the right peace. So we want to stand there at the tomb when Jesus tells us, "Oh, my peace be with you. My shalom be with you. Be complete, be fulfilled." So I want to quote Our Lady, and she said, not only once, she said, "When I look at you, dear children, my heart is saddened because I see that your hearts are hard and empty." So you know, the contrary of peace is not war. It's not. The contrary of peace, the contrary of shalom, is emptiness. And this is terrible sickness of today, especially among the youth. Emptiness of heart, emptiness of future, emptiness of direction, emptiness of love, emptiness of hope. So much suffering with this emptiness, because we are created to be fulfilled, and in heaven we will be fulfilled. And the way to holiness is to learn how to get God, the presence of God, within our hearts, so that we may be a tabernacle of the living God. So to make a long story short, I will invite you to welcome Jesus in your heart, so that there is no more hole. And for this, you know, I will be inviting to heal from lack of peace. I'll give you an example how easy it is to lose peace. Suppose there is a man who says, "Well, I am a good Catholic, and I go to Mass every Sunday. I'm a good Catholic, but I have no peace, because I'm full of fear. I fear to be sick, I fear to suffer, I fear to be stopped in a bed doing nothing, I fear to lose my job, I fear to give problems to my wife. So I absolutely don't want to be sick. I fear to be sick, I don't want to suffer. No, that's not for me. So I go to the doctor every week, I take a a bag, a great amount of medicines, and always that fear not to be sick. Now I have a question for you. Do you think this guy is really a good Catholic? No. Why? Because he's not abandoned to God. He wants to have, he actually wants to have the control of his health, of his body, of his life. And this is not what has been given to him when he was baptized. Let's go to the origin. He was baptized. The day he was baptized, he became a child of God. Okay, you follow me. When he became a child of God, it means he's part of the family of God. So everything that belongs to the Father is his family. And everything that belongs to him is actually belonging to the Father. And Our Lord says it very clearly here, dear children, your life doesn't belong to you. Your life does not belong to you. Your children do not belong to you. It's all God's property. And we're serving the plans of God. So if he is baptized, from now on as a Catholic, as a Christian, as a believer, he lives to glorify God in his life. That's it, you know. We are meant to give glory to God through our life. That's the purpose of our baptism. So if he says, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to suffer, I don't want to be lying in a bed, I don't want this, what does he do without realizing? Chasing away the master of his life, chasing away the king of his life, chasing away the risen Christ, chasing away Jesus, without realizing it, because his ego is taking the place in his heart. So Jesus, very humble, doesn't force anybody, and he remains out. And because he remains out, I have another question for you. Jesus is out. Is there light in that heart? No, no light in that heart. If there is no light, what is there? Darkness. Okay, darkness. And if there is not darkness, who needs darkness to work? The demons. They're always looking for places of darkness to come and to do their dirty job. And this man, because of that, refusing the kingship of Jesus, is attracting darkness in his heart. Because when Jesus is not, there is no light. And these demons that are now dwelling in his heart, tormenting him, and removing the peace and eating up that heart from inside, you know. And this guy has no peace, and he's saying, how come don't I have peace? He did his own misery. I'll give you another example. Suppose a man says, I'm very, very rich. And now that I'm old, I can use my money to do what I want. I want to do what I want because this is my money. I earned it, I didn't steal it. I earned it, this is my money, so I do what I want. Poor guy, he's ruining his peace. Because if this is my money, this is my will, this is what I want to do, poor thing. He's ruining his peace. Because where is the place of Jesus as the king of his life? Where is the place of the risen Christ in his heart? No, his ego taking the place. He wants to have the control of his money. He said, I does not steal it. But if this guy comes to Medjugorje and get into a big conversion, he'll say, look, Jesus, you are the master of my life. You're the king of my life. You're my God. I want you to reign in my heart. I want you to reign in my life. So you see the amount of money I have in the bank. Be happy, Jesus. It's all for your service. It's all for you. Please use it the way you want. Whatever you will ask me, I will do it. I'll provide for my family, I'll provide for my needs, of course. But please tell me, how can I use it for your glory? Helping the poor, helping this thing, and investing in that thing, whatever, Jesus. I'll be happy to follow your instructions that you will give me through the gospel and my prayer, my personal prayer. Seeing also the needs, spiritual need and material need around me. So this guy becomes free. He's not preoccupied with his ego anymore, preoccupied what he has to do, because he let Jesus be the master, be the king of his life. So this heart gets the shalom. You know, again I say, the shalom is to be filled, to be fulfilled with the presence of God. I remember during the war, we were in 1992. I was actually here in Medjugorje during the war. We were listening to the bombing, and the earth would tremble with the bombing. Everyone in Mostar, in Lubushki, in Chitluk, all around. Medjugorje was kept, thank God, miraculously, thanks to your prayers. And I want to see Witzka at her home. I wanted to provoke her. And I knew her two brothers were in the front in the war. Two brothers, and also the enemy were 5 kilometers away from the little river near the village. 5 kilometers is very little. So they could show up anytime and cut the throat of the people and burn the houses. And so this was the situation, the real situation. And I said to Witzka, Witzka, aren't you afraid? Your brothers are in the front fighting every day. The enemy is very close. They could harm your parents, they could burn your house. Aren't you afraid? She looked at me with a beautiful gaze. She looked at me like that, with full of light and love and sweetness and peace. And she said, but Sister Emmanuel, look, when we have God in our heart, when we have the peace of God in our heart, what can we be afraid of? My dear friends, that was the best teaching about peace that I ever heard, and I don't need to read any book on peace. That was it. When you have God in your heart, when you have the peace of God in your heart, what can you be afraid of? You can be in jail, you can be in the war, you can be prisoner, you can be in a boat, like in a boat with waves, you know, like the disciples with Jesus. You can be sick in a bed, you can be abandoned by your wife, by your children, if you have God in your heart, you have everything. That is the teaching of it. If you have God, you have everything. So we are there in Jerusalem, we are near Jesus, the risen Christ is there, and he looks at us. And because he's divine, his divine knowledge, he knows where in our heart there is emptiness and where he can go. And he's sad to see that is emptiness. Why? Because when he got out from the tomb, it was after his passion, and during his passion, he suffered so much. We cannot imagine how much he suffered. He suffered really hell. He suffered torture. He was crucified. He was in agony. We cannot imagine. And then he won our salvation. With his death, he defeated death. Definitely, he defeated Satan, he defeated hell, he defeated evil, he defeated our sins. And we are invited now to welcome him and take his salvation. It's not forced, it's offered. It's offered to every mankind. So he's there after having paid the price of our salvation, and when he sees the emptiness of our heart, all the places where we cannot be, the places where he has not been invited to be, he is really sad. This is why he said, my peace be with you, my shalom. And he wants his shalom to invade all our being. So now I will speak about a castle. Suppose we are all like a castle. And in this castle, we have many rooms. And each room represents something that is important in our life. So I have prepared for you a little list of the rooms that are in that castle. And we all have those rooms, somehow. And now we will listen carefully because then I will give you 1 minute of silence when you can check your castle, where Jesus has been invited and where he has been not invited or even rejected. Listen carefully. Now, one room in the castle represents the relationship I have with food, the God food, you know, divine food. Okay. Another room will be about my way to dress, how I choose my dress, my hat, my shoes, my whatever, my jacket, whatever, and what are my thoughts when I buy that. Now, another room is about my mobile phone. What is my relationship with is Jesus there? Have I invited Jesus to deal with my mobile phone and to be the king of my mobile phone, to lead me how to use it? Okay. Another room, okay, my TV set, my hobbies. Another room will be dealing with my sport, how I deal with sport. Does my sport take the place of Holy Mass or confession or adoration or my rosary? You know, Our Lady said, sport is good, but not excessive sport. Okay, so I have to see that. My vacation, how I choose my vacation, what I do. Oh, another room represents my inheritance, my family goods and my inheritance, how I deal with my siblings and my parents and my children. Is there Jesus there to lead me there? How do I deal with the disease of my family? What do I do for them? Another room. Another room is about my enemies, how I treat my enemies. Is it from the gospel or is it from my feelings? A big, big room. Another room is my mother-in-law. Well, maybe she's a very nice person. Another, my car, the importance of my car in my life, my jewelry, my house, how I deal with the plans of my future. Do I ask Jesus or do I do according to my feelings, my thoughts, okay. Another room that is very important, my sexuality. Is Jesus there? Is the gospel there? Do I seek purity or do I indulge in pornography or whatever, you know, adultery or impure things? And this is so common today, so common. But I have to clean all that thing. Also, how I deal with my faith as a Catholic, as a Christian, my weekly, my Sunday Mass, my confession, my daily rosary, my fasting, following the School of Holy, fasting Wednesday and Friday on bread and water and whatever. Okay, how do I deal with my neighbors? How do I deal with my health? With my addiction maybe? How I deal with my work, my colleague at work? Do I behave as a believer or I'm ashamed of Jesus, I'm ashamed to carry a cross maybe or medal or whatever? My colleague, how I behave? My money, my bank account, the way I spend my money, the way I help the poor, the way I'm at service to other people. I seek how to serve also. Jesus said, I've not come to be served, but to serve. So how do I serve, you know, after Jesus? Now, a very important thing, especially for Americans and English people, my cat and my dog. What is the place of my little pets? How I deal with my frustration, when the frustration came, my disappointment, how I use my tongue, how I speak. Do I remove all bad words and accusation and bad speaking about others? You know, we can We can adore. So I hope you remember a few things of this castle. And you know, when Jesus sees the castle that we are, he has a great, great desire that this castle be completely illuminated with his presence, because he is the light of the world. There is no other light in the world than Jesus. So he wants our castle to be completely enlightened. And he sees that there is work. There is a lot of work, because we'll have to see everything and let Jesus get into that room. So now we will have 1 minute of silence, and each one of us can examine his castle and point out which room. I forgot to invite Jesus there. I never thought of telling Jesus, Jesus, be the king of that room. Jesus, be the king of that aspect of my life. Jesus, be the king, the master of my relationship with this and that. So this is 1 minute of silence. I'm sure a lot of you found at least one room where Jesus was never ever invited. So let me tell you that this room stinks. It stinks. And this stinking infests the whole castle. I'm sorry. Because when you leave a room closed like this, locked, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, maybe more, these little animals, you know, serpents and those little rats and all these little, well, I I stop here because I don't know the name of all these little horrible animals, you know. And Jesus sees that, and he's so sad, and he has one desire to open that door and to put his light, which means his peace. So Mary, Mother of God, is here, and she loves Jesus, and she shares his will, his desire to be fully present in all the castle, for our good, for our deep peace of heart. So Mother Mary is asking us, my child, would you please open that door for my son? Because he wants to get in, he wants to be there, he wants to give his light there where there is darkness, and this darkness is ruining your peace. Because of that darkness, you are depressed, you're sad, you are aggressive, you have no love in your heart, you have no hope. So he wants to dwell there. Would you please give me that key? Would you please give me that lock? Yes, Mother, of course. I didn't know that was possible. Please, Mother, take that lock, take that piece. I'll be happy to invite Jesus there. Well, there's a little work to say yes, but okay, we say yes. We say yes. How come we cannot say yes? So a miracle happens, because Jesus opened the door. He sees this horrible situation that stinks, and what does he do? One word. You know, Jesus is a creator. How did he create the world? He created the light with one word. He said, "May the light be," and the light was. So just one word. He said, "May the light be there in that room." And in 1 second, there is light. And all these horrible little animals and serpents and darkness and dirt and that, it's over, disappears. He's a risen Christ, isn't he? So this room is enlightened. Now we have to deal with another room, another room, another room. We have many rooms to deal with. I want to mention one thing. On the last station of our life, when we get into the other world, you will see how your castle is, and you will make a decision. So I have one single advice for you. Deal with this work now on earth when you still have time. Because when you present yourself, when you show up near the throne of God, unless your castle is completely enlightened, you won't get in straight away. You'll have to go to purgatory to be purified. And don't forget, and this is the teaching of all the mystics, that the slightest suffering is in purgatory is more painful than the greatest pain on earth. So I don't advise you to go there. So we have to pray not to go there. But sin does not enter heaven. So if the castle is not completely with the presence of Jesus, you have to be purified in purgatory. So this is why I'm speaking to you today, telling you, be quick to deal with your castle. Be quick to deal with the rooms that are still infested with sin, with refusal of Jesus, with blockage, with a closed door. Welcome Jesus in your castle. And I'm sure today itself you will do this big step forward to say, Jesus, in that room so far, I never even thought to invite you. I never thought to let you be the risen Christ there. So today it's your day, Jesus. Come in, dwell in my heart, dwell completely in my heart. I want your peace here, Jesus. I want your shalom.